But the best way to get it started is a little BTO working overtime.
That is good. You have a non-future as a dying
radio DJ. Yeah, if it comes back, man, I'm all over it.
If the disc jockey ever gets big again, come on, show the audience.
Tune in to Between the Streams right now. Coming up 12 minutes after the hour, we're going to cover the Emmys for you. Boy, a lot of surprises in those nominations. But first off, we got to say happy birthday to Larry out in Beaverton. You go get it, bud. Have a great one. All right, here it is, Between the Streams.
That is the best opening we've ever had.
Hello.
I'm Ryan Juanita.
I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Between the Streams. This is our weekly entertainment podcast here from Digital Trends. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Of course, we do have the podcast.
Can you do the whole show like that? That's the question.
I could.
I think it'd throw me off.
I don't want
think
to.
I could follow.
I don't want to. I did that long enough.
I could just make noises.
Of course, we're broadcasting live right now. That's too hard to, okay, now I gotta focus. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope right now. Of course, it's Friday, noon here in Portland, Oregon, where we're broadcasting from. So, and we have a lot of stuff to cover today. So movies, entertainment, like I said, we're going to bring you up to date on everything that's coming out on Netflix, a lot of movies that are happening, a lot of reboots that are happening, which are the Emmys, which are happening. And that's kind of part of where we wanted to go here with the first topic out of the gate. And our question was Netflix versus HBO. Which one do you prefer? Which one has better shows? Who's the better service? And I think there's a lot that you could debate with that, but it really comes down to, since the Emmy nominations came out, Netflix received more than HBO did, which I think is the first time that's ever happened, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I don't even know if they've ever gotten close before.
Yeah.
HBO usually gets in the 100, like over 100.
Yeah.
And I think Netflix used to hover around 40 or something.
Right. So it's a big difference.
Big change.
And I think that says a lot. I mean, one, Netflix comes out with so many shows constantly.
Yes.
Every day there are new series, and we're going to tell you about some of them later on today that Netflix comes out with. But HBO is kind of known for these grand, epic shows that are the Westworlds, the Game of Thrones. But I don't know if Netflix has had that.
Yeah,
yet.
so it comes down to cost. Netflix is spending in the red, and they spend about $8 billion a year, and they've ramped up that number every year for the last 5 years. I think they were spending 4 or 5, and then it was 6, and then it was 7, and this year it's going to be 8.
Right.
Whereas HBO last year spent $2 billion. And we're very profitable. And it's sort of interesting because, as we were talking about before, AT&T has purchased Time Warner, the massive company that is Time Warner, which includes everything from CNN and TNT to Warner Brothers, the entire studio, and, of course, HBO.
Yeah, that's a lot of potential content and a lot of power in one company.
Right. Well, the Justice Department actually just appealed that ruling. They were trying to stop in the first place. It went through. Now they've appealed it. I don't know where that's going to go. But for now, AT&T is basically the new owner, and one of their executives, this guy Stanky, is his
name's Stanky?
His last name is Stanky.
Okay.
Came in, and there was audio leaked. The New York Times wrote a story about it. And basically, he came in and said, look, guys, nice job. You've done well here with what you had, but we need to ramp everything up. And so basically he said, you're going to become Netflix.
Wow.
You're going to go from this boutique.
Meaning how? Like just pump out content?
Pumping out tons and tons of content.
Man, so that's going to obviously water down some of the quality that, because that's one thing with HBO, whether you like the show or not, it's going to be quality.
Right.
It may not be, something that you want to watch, but still, I think that's really going to, I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not.
I mean, it could very much tarnish the brand. And he was saying stuff like, very corporate stuff. It's you should, if you haven't read it yet, it's interesting to read the article because Richard Plepler, who is the head of HBO, was there as well, sort of defending his guys while welcoming this guy in. It's these two it's that sort of uncomfortable diplomatic adversarial relationship. And the Stanky said, you guys need to make, at the end of the day, of course, we need to make money.
Yeah.
And Pepler said, we do make money.
Yeah, HBO does make money, right?
They're in the black. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, despite putting out all that money for shows like Game of Thrones and Westworld, which are expensive, they're still making money. So why change something
And he said,
that's
well,
not
you
broken?
need to make more. And I think part of that is because they think eventually that the cable paradigm may fall. And HBO makes a lot of its money still on cable subscriptions. So basically...
Although
And Reed
well,
Hastings
okay.
said a while ago,
Yeah.
we need to become HBO before they can become us. And what they meant by that was we are getting into original content because we can't keep up with the licensing fees. And the best way to do that is to make our own content,
Right.
make it in-house or
you
license
have the
it in-house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they did that. They have become not only HBO, but well beyond not only HBO, but other networks that make tons of TV shows.
Yeah.
Netflix just sort of bulldozes all of them.
Well, I think Travis just said on YouTube, taking a look at some of the comments. And again, feel free to comment if you're watching live and let us know what you think. And we've got a lot that we're going to be getting to today. But said HBO is a niche channel catering to certain audiences, while Netflix caters to just about everyone.
And now HBO is being charged to do the latter.
Yeah. That's okay. That's going to be really interesting to see where that goes and how that ends up.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see.
I mean, you're just going to see HBO start pumping out like all kinds of content that we don't need or don't want, or
exactly. Well, I mean,
start throwing money around like
the way
Netflix. Do they
does
have
it,
that?
Yeah, they create kids programming. Half of their stuff, half of their, I think, content or so is kids programming.
Wow.
A lot of it is. That may not be quite half, but yeah, they make something
quite a
for
bit.
everyone, and it's not easy for a company that has a certain kind of brand to just up and switch.
Yeah.
And that's what HBO is being tasked to do.
Wow.
So
Well,
if AT&T continues to own the company, and if the appeal doesn't work from the Justice Department, we are going to, in 2 or 3 years' time, likely see a very different HBO than what we see now.
HBO will be more like Netflix, or at least striving to be that if they can. All right, well, that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. So that was kind of our overall question: is Netflix versus HBO, who has better shows? And that was relating to the Emmy nominations, where Netflix did pass HBO on that. I think for more quality shows, oh man, it's tough. That's really hard to say who is better. I would say if I had to choose HBO, I'd probably stick with HBO.
If you're going to say more quality, I mean, maybe even Netflix has that just because they have more shows.
Right, yeah.
But if you're going to say who do you turn to for quality, I think HBO
Right, who
wins.
still has that,
Yeah.
On
the other hand of it,
reputation.
I would say I would be able to deal with losing HBO over Netflix just because there's so much on Netflix. I mean, I don't think I'll ever stop having a Netflix subscription.
Right, and a couple of comments and more, and we're going to move on from this too. I know we've got a lot more things to talk about, like actual TV shows and movies. But some comments here. Gerald says they both suck. Linda says they both are whack.
All right.
Carl says Netflix has old TV shows. Does HBO? They do for all
They
of
have
their
old
own
HBO
content.
TV shows.
Yeah, all the old HBO shows they do have. So that one works pretty well. Edward says I just want something to play in the background. And that's true. I use Netflix for that all the time. I put that in the background.
Yeah.
Arrested Development Season 4 has probably been streamed in my house 100 times. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just put it
The
on.
Office
I'm probably the
is
only
always
one
on.
that could ever say that too. I don't think anybody watched Season 4 more than once, but
That's why we love you, Greg.
yep, but I did it. All right, let's go and talk about some movies. So we're going to
do
bring
that.
up here in a minute talking about Lando Calrissian and Star Wars. We have to get to that. Mission Impossible, Sacha Baron Cohen thing. But for the box office this weekend, let's just cover this. Obviously, the movie that's going to win the most Oscars this year is out this weekend, which is Skyscraper, starring The Rock.
Yes.
AKA Die Hard with The Rock, or
Yes. Did you read my little thing?
Oh, Die Hard plus Towering Inferno plus Rock minus leg equals Sky. Oh, yeah, because he has one leg in it equals Skyscraper.
That's correct.
Yeah. There you go. That's what the that's the advertisement for it.
Except that apparently, Die Hard is obviously a great movie. Towering Inferno is a pretty great movie in its own right, and unfortunately, The Skyscraper is not supposedly very good.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty rough reviews.
Yeah.
About 50%, 5 average out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's actually better than I expected it to.
Yeah,
be.
really?
Yeah, I did not expect 50%.
It still beats Batman versus Superman by a long shot, so you've got that going
okay.
for you.
Well, congratulations, Skyscraper. Yeah, I mean, the people who are going to go see it are going to go see it.
Yeah,
I'll watch it when it's on Netflix.
I don't think there's going to be any surprises here. I don't
It's
think
a little bit of San Andreas in the
Exactly.
sky too. San Andreas was terrible.
Yes.
Terrible.
You did not like San Andreas.
I did not like San Andreas. It was a terrible movie. Everybody in it looks good, though. All right, so moving on to what we have here now. Another show that's out, movie that's out this weekend, Sorry to Bother You, which this one looks pretty unique.
Yeah, this is getting a lot of attention, and it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. And I will watch pretty much anything that Tessa Thompson's in.
Which is pretty much everything now.
She is really,
she's
she
in
gets
a
around.
lot.
Yeah, she's in a lot of
Would
stuff.
you say it's a Tessa Thompson-assance? Or
Thompson-assance?
Yeah.
I think we've seen
a Tessa-assance?
A Tessa-assance. Yes, starring LaKeith Stanfield, Tessa Thompson, Armie Hammer. It is a movie about a alternate version of present-day Oakland in which a black telemarketer pretends to be white and finds himself getting all kinds of inroads and career boosts because of it, and then. But I think there's a lot more to it than that. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, the trailer kind of shows like it's him projecting what's going on in his mind into reality.
Yeah, I think it's going to be just
these
unique.
weird cuts. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting show. So sorry to bother you. That is out this weekend as well in the box office. Let's get to some big news this week, which was more Star Wars news, in that we have another casting for Star Wars Episode 9. Lando Calrissian is back. Billy Dee Williams, most likely.
Back again.
Because
we had Lando in Solo, so it's kind of confusing.
Well, right.
But you're right. I mean, it's the real Lando or the original
Lando. Old Lando's back.
I was trying to, the reason I'm talking about this is because I was trying to figure out a way to type that and type that in the headline for the post today, because, Lando just came back in Solo in a way, but now Billy Dee Williams is all but assuredly in Star Wars Episode 9. He's coming back as Lando, of course. And so that should be cool.
I think that'll be, I'm curious how they're going to incorporate him. Because from what I've read, he's pretty old. He's got how are you going to, what are you going to do?
He can be on a starship somewhere or something. I don't know.
Well, they also have to tackle, Princess Leia. So maybe it'll be for Princess Leia's funeral.
I just hope they come up with a really good way to incorporate him and not just be like, well, every movie
there he is.
we got to truck
along.
Out one of the older actors.
Right.
It's because that's seemingly what they've done a little bit. So I hope that it's not just, we need a guy from the old movies.
Right, yeah. Bring him back.
I hope there's a really good reason for Lando to come
because they're running out of people that they can just bring back.
Yeah, I think this is the last one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Billy Dee Williams, though, Lando, back in Star Wars Episode 9.
I should say, studio has not confirmed, but he bowed out of a project, and it's being reported by some pretty big news sources that he's in.
So, most likely in Episode 9. In the chat I just saw on Facebook, Ember just said, last time I saw Billy Dee, he was George Burns old. So, hey, it happens to everybody, but I'm just curious what they're going to be doing there. Although, then again, Harrison Ford is going to be playing Indiana Jones till he's like 90, so we'll see there.
Just push that back too.
on Twitch, the Next Generation Rest Home. That should be for that one too. All right, let's keep on talking here. Something else that's getting a lot of news this week, and this is a movie that's not out yet, soon. Yeah, but it is Mission Impossible Fallout, which our own
called it.
Ryan Juanita is a big fan of Mission Impossible movies.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say that I enjoy them.
You're the biggest fan I know.
I would just say that I enjoy them. I think I love the practical effects. I'm not blown away by them, but I really did enjoy Ghost Protocol. It's not as good as Skyfall or some of those movies, but it's a good action movie. But I actually thought that this one looked really, really good.
Okay.
And of course, this is also the film that killed DC because of Henry Cavill's mustache.
Oh, right, because Henry Cavill was filming the Superman versus Batman, and then
they had to do reshoots with Joss Whedon coming in.
Yeah,
it wasn't Superman versus Batman; it was Justice League. But he had to come back for reshoots because Joss Whedon finished the movie, and they screwed up the CG, of course, so his lips look all weird throughout the movie. That's because of this film. So they wouldn't let him shave his awesome mustache. The contract for this film wouldn't allow it. So, but anyway, Mission Impossible Fallout, I thought it looked awesome. We've had about 17 trailers for it, and now it's getting, it's had about 45 reviews out. Almost everyone loves it. It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes at an 8 average. So 8.7 average, almost a 9 average.
I'll admit, I'm not a Mission Impossible movie person. I think I saw the first one. That's probably the last one I saw when that originally came out.
That's why you're not a fan, because you don't even know what they are. So watch a newer one and see if they're good, because they actually are.
All right.
Ghost Protocol is great.
I'll watch it.
Yes.
So Mission Impossible Fallout.
And you won't have to watch all of them. Whatever you do, well, actually, you should watch 2 because it's one of the worst movies ever made.
Maybe that's what happened. I watched 2.
Kill the franchise.
That could be what it is. I watched 2, and that just put me off of them forever.
It is just weird shots of Tom Cruise trying to look hot on camera and trying to get with this girl, and it's really weird.
That's okay. That's where it was. Yeah, I'm sure of it. All right. Well, there we go. So Mission Impossible.
Candy Newman's in it too.
Coming out in a couple weeks. You'll be able to watch that one. Some things that you can watch sooner than that, though. Let's go to some television here. Or wait. I'm gonna bounce this around here really quick. Change something. No, we'll talk about the movies right now.
All right,
let's talk about the movies.
Sure.
Some more movies that are going to be coming out. So, and then we'll talk about some television that you can watch this weekend. Other news this week, we found out that We're getting yet another sequel to a movie.
Yet another reboot.
A reboot sequel.
Yeah.
It's Robocop. Robocop is coming back, only it's going to be... It's so in the original RoboCop series, there was RoboCop 1, RoboCop 2, and then there was a reboot of RoboCop a few years ago.
There was also RoboCop 3.
Then there was RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
This one, it's kind of a reboot, but really it's a different RoboCop 2.
Yeah, it's the same
Based
thing
off
that they
the
were going to do
original.
with the Alien movie that Neil Blomkamp was
It's so
also going
confusing.
to direct. So it's direct. This new RoboCop is going to be directed by Neil Blomkamp. For those who don't know, he's the guy from District 9, and that's about it. That's the only movie that he's done that has done well or been well reviewed. And so that he was supposed to do an Alien movie, and I don't know what's going on with that, but that was supposed to be directly after Aliens. It was going to be in place of Alien 3, and now instead he's doing a RoboCop movie that's supposed to be in place of RoboCop 2. Did you get all that?
No, I'm already confused. I mean, and that's what I was. Sorry, I was trying to read it as I was about ready to say it. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on here.
Yeah.
There's another RoboCop. It's being noted on Twitch. The RoboCop 3 was the one with the jetpack. I think.
Yeah,
So,
and RoboCop 3 was the big.
and
shark
I forgot
jump.
about RoboCop 3.
And RoboCop 2 is the one where the little kid runs the crime mafia, and they got that weird drug that like you shoot into your. It's like one of those movies.
I think
we
you
were
talked
talking
about this.
that.
You're
yeah.
right.
All those movies that make up drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, RoboCop 2 is one of those.
Okay, well, we'll have to see on
It's
this one.
bizarre if you haven't seen RoboCop 2.
So it's obviously not filming yet, but it is going to be made. So we'll get a different RoboCop 2 that we've all been clamoring for so many years. Something else that's going to be made, and this was just announced, I believe today is when it really came out, is Downton Abbey is getting a movie. That's getting the movie treatment. Downton Abbey movie. It's set to start production, I believe, this year. The original principal cast is back. And I'll admit, I did not watch Downton Abbey. I know everybody told me to watch Downton Abbey, and I need to, and it's on my list, but I always find something else that I'm more interested in.
Yeah, I started watching it because I sometimes watch like Masterpiece Theater on a PBS.
Yeah.
And I started watching it and I was like kind of embarrassed about it. I was like, I really like this show. I didn't know anything about Upstairs Downstairs, so I didn't realize it was kind of like a total ripoff of that, but I was like, telling people I like this new show. It's got these,
I'm really into this.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it like blew up and I kind of eventually lost interest and went to something else. But,
yeah.
It's good, and it's pulling the whole Hollywood thing, 4 or 5 seasons in a movie. It's sort of the natural progression. Every show that does it, it's like you do 5 seasons in a movie. Everybody's heard about this, so that's what they're doing.
Which is what I wanted Sopranos to do. They did 6 seasons.
They did not do that.
Movie, but it's too late for that.
Yes, it is.
So Downton Abbey movie is on the way for all the Downton Abbey fans. And one comic book movie to talk about, we kind of knew this was going to be happening, but now we actually have a director attached. And it's for Black Widow.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised how not big this is. Like, it just didn't seem to be big news to people, I guess.
Tell you why, to me, and it's just because Black Widow doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah, I know.
It's
kind of a problem.
I mean, it's you can have a really good
but you can do a spy movie.
Yeah, you can do a good spy movie.
Everybody loves spy movies. It's
where
just
she
not
goes
what you're
undercover
expecting.
and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Black Widow. Maybe she is some people's favorite character, but it's
cool. Going to be another of these things that Disney's doing well with Marvel, and maybe not as well with Star Wars, where they're sort of subverting what you're expecting. They did it with Thor, and they've been doing it with a few movies. Fox also did it with Deadpool, of course. So let's hope it's going to be in that vein.
Yeah, and it's Kate Shortland is going to be the director.
Yeah, confirmed to be doing the movie.
To be doing the movie. So there we go. All right. Something that's coming out, now we'll talk about this, the stuff that you can watch this weekend or soon in the next couple of weeks. And this one is getting a lot of buzz, and most people don't even know what it's really about, and that's including us because I've been so secretive about it. But it's Sacha Baron Cohen of, Borat and Bruno fame, his new show that he has apparently secretly been filming for the last year, where he's playing a character, allegedly, a character named Dr. Billy Wayne Reddick Jr., and it's going to be a half-hour series where I guess, and we know this for sure, at least with Sarah Palin, he's been conducting interviews with people under the guise of this character, and now they're finding out that it was all fake, and Sarah Palin was real ticked off about whatever happened.
That's the scenario? He interviewed Sarah Palin?
He interviewed Sarah Palin. He interviewed Dick Cheney.
Wow.
They posted one clip of Dick Cheney signing a waterboard, something like that. somehow I don't know what it was, but that's the one clip. They've really kept this under wraps as far as what people know about this character, and I guess he's been doing this secretly for a while. So Dick Cheney and Sarah Palin, he did interview them.
A waterboard kit.
Kit. That's what it was.
I don't think there's actually.
Yeah, I know. It's like there's not an actual board. It's not how it works. And then allegedly, some of the other people were Ted Koppel, Joe Arpaio, whatever his name is. Yeah,
oh my God.
Exactly. So there's a lot that's going on with it. And now he's got these different things in his character. He responded to Sarah Palin, and who was not. Sarah Palin apparently was not in on the joke, and
he's pulling a Colbert then.
Sort of
Except
pulling a only a full on character where they don't even recognize him. And he's got a Twitter handle at Billy W. Reddick, where he's responding back to them. And
wow,
yeah, so we'll see what it's like. It premieres this weekend on Showtime.
Cool.
I want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved Sacha Baron Cohen. He hasn't done anything like really
Shocking.
big for a while.
Yeah.
I always liked his TV shows. Ollie G always did some hilarious stuff. So
yeah,
this will be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he's still got it. So, Who is America? That's the name of the show. And that's July 15th on Showtime. Coming up in a couple of weeks, we did get a final trailer for Castle Rock, which, in case you forgot about Castle Rock, it's going to be on Hulu, and it is it's from Stephen King and J.J. Abrams, and it's, of course, the fictional town Castle Rock that's in so many Stephen King novels, and I guess they're going to kind of tie everything together. It's a 10-episode anthology series, and you're going to get a little bit from the trailer anyway. You can see hints from a bunch of different books that are in there. I mean, there's like a Cujo reference. There's references to a lot of different things.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, Carrie reference. I mean, she's in it, so at least the actress. So I don't know, Sissy Spacek's in it. I don't know if that's supposed to be Carrie or if that's just a happenstance. But it looks good.
Looks dark.
Yeah. And it's based around, from what we're gathering from the trailer and what the info we have, there's a kid who's in jail who there's something off about him. Whether something's going after him or he's sinister and evil, who knows?
Yeah, it's getting good buzz, including from our own Rick Marshall.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So Castle Rock, that is July 25th. You'll be able to watch that.
I'm a Stephen King fan. I love Stephen
me too.
King, read a dozen of his books, so
I'm all on board.
Of course, with that comes the expectation and hope, like that they're not going to ruin, some of your favorite stories. So there's a lot, that could go wrong.
Well, you can just ignore it.
I'm glad that it's
bad.
getting good buzz. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's July 25th on Hulu. And then going back to talking about Netflix, we have more things to discuss with Netflix. This one I didn't even know was coming out.
No one knew about.
That's the thing.
Like, I didn't know about
keeps
it.
coming out with these shows, and it's like, oh, okay, you made a giant movie with a whole bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
Cool. And the movie I'm talking about is called Extinction, and it's coming out on July 27th. It's a full-on Hollywood production movie.
Yeah, we got the first trailer for it yesterday.
Yeah.
Or the day before, maybe. But
this
week.
I mean, it's soon.
Yeah.
Very recent, and it stars
Lizzie Kaplan too.
Lizzie Kaplan, Michael Pena, got Luke Cage is in there. Mike Coulter is in it as well, and it's based around Michael Pena and what he's kind of having these dreams about like an apocalypse and about aliens, and then it looks like things start to come to pass and aliens invade. So it's a whole alien invasion movie.
But he's got some sort of power or something.
Yeah, there's some kind of
on.
secret side to it too. Yeah, that they're not letting on to.
I'll watch it.
Absolutely.
I love all the actors in it. I like alien invasion movies.
Yep.
It looks pretty big budget. I'll watch the hell out of that movie.
Check. Yep, I'm in.
Again, coming back to the Netflix thing, it's like...
Yeah, they're just showing up with these things.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's also something else, and I wanted to bring up this one because I just started watching part of this almost on accident the other day. I was like, what is this? And I got sucked in for a while. And they have another series that's out right now called Mr. Sunshine. And this one's kind of unique. So it's a Korean original drama series.
It was made in Korea.
Made in Korea. It's partially in English, but then the rest of it's in subtitles from what I've seen so far. So it's an actual Korean show that's airing in Korea right now. Netflix bought the rights for the U.S. and I think everywhere outside of Asia. And so they're putting up a new episode as it premieres in Korea. Like they're releasing, so every week there'll be a new episode that shows up. So they're doing it more like an actual episodic, standard television show. The way it's shot is really beautiful.
It looks really gorgeous.
It is really, really pretty.
Sort of Marco Polo, but even like more vibrant.
Yeah, I mean it's a really great as far as the shooting on it. I watched part of the first episode. It's pretty brutal too. So it's based. It's not an actual story, but it's based on an actual historical events. It's called Shimon Yonggo. I'm probably mispronouncing that terribly, but I'm sure I am. But it was a U.S. expedition to Korea in the 19th century where they were trying to open up a trade route to Korea, or open up trade with Korea, and there was a whole bunch of confusion that happened, and this actually did, where there was obviously some language barriers and some misunderstandings about intentions, and the Koreans fired on the U.S., the U.S. fired back and actually invaded for a little bit, and this was all in the 1800s until they figured it out. Which, I'm sure it's all figured out right now.
And they save for another war later.
They save it for another war later, exactly. So that's what it's kind of based around, and it's a Korean guy who went back with the U.S. troops and then goes back to Korea.
All right.
Anyway, it's interesting, and I would suggest it just to watch it, even just if get a feel for the cinematography of it.
Well, and getting back to that subject, just quickly, the one thing that Netflix has also done is, HBO was already global, but what Netflix has done in its global rollout is find anchor shows in multiple different countries. There's a big drama now in India. I can't remember the name of it, but it's getting a lot of buzz. And these shows are not only big in those countries, but they're getting big in other countries. Dark, the German one, is getting big, or got good reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the other kind of brilliant thing that they're doing is putting these sort of local shows with really good showrunners and filmmakers or whatever in each of the countries that they've rolled out into. That will pull somebody in. Then you get them into
smart.
that version of Netflix, because not all versions of Netflix have all the shows. There's licensing agreements and all sorts of stuff, but that gets everybody on board. They put the pricing so that whatever the median income is, people can afford it.
Yeah.
So it's really it's kind of sneaky how they're doing it.
It's sneaky and smart, and that's why they're everywhere right now. And we're going to get back to our top question, too, here in a second of Netflix versus HBO as we wrap up the show. But we do have two other things. So, clearly sci-fi has had kind of a renaissance, but now it seems like actual movies from, I think, mainly British,
Yeah, they're bravehearting.
Bravehearting. There we go. I was looking for you for a term. I knew you would have one. Bravehearting term. So we've got a couple of movies that are coming out. We've got one, Mary Queen of Scots, is coming out in December.
Just saw this trailer. This looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie. I cannot pronounce her first name. Her last name is Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
She was in Little Bird, and she's a huge up-and-coming actress. She's
very big.
The hot, the new thing.
Right.
And, of course, Margot Robbie is great.
Yes.
The two of them play...
Margot Robbie is Queen Elizabeth I.
Yes.
And Saoirse is Mary Queen of Scots.
Which I don't know that much about the history. I was reading a little bit on Wikipedia. It sounds like a really interesting relationship. They were cousins. There was all kinds of crazy stuff that happened.
Yeah, well, essentially back then, all of the kings and queens were pretty incestuous.
Exactly.
They were all related to each other.
Well, especially in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, United Kingdom and France and the Dutch kingdoms. I mean, all of them were... They were all kind of mixed up together.
Right.
And so Mary came back, and she was supposed to be the queen, and then there's a fight, and this actually did happen, and ended up being, well, as it ends up on that one. But
it just looks like incredibly shot, incredibly acted. Like if everything from the trailer comes out, and it doesn't necessarily always happen, but if it comes out the way it looks in the trailer, people who like period pieces are going to go crazy for this thing.
Yeah.
It looks great.
And to correct it, it's Saoirse. That's how you say her name.
See?
Saoirse Ronan. So if you have any questions, you see that actress's name.
That's why we do it live.
S-A-O. No, that was our buddy Riley. Just let us know. S-A-O-I-R-S-I-E Ronan. Saoirse.
All right.
Saoirse Ronan. Now we all know. We've all learned together.
Yeah.
And we apologize
anymore
for saying it wrong.
I apologize.
Yes. Right. Thank you, Ryan. I was waiting for your apology. So now we feel good about it.
I will make a written apology. That will come out later. It'll be fine.
The statement will come out later.
Yes, the statement will be in front of the press.
Right. And the final movie here that we wanted to talk about too was The Favorite.
Yeah, sort of the opposite of what we're seeing.
Right.
But also an interesting period piece. Yeah.
And this one's about a wild adaptation of Queen Anne in 18th century England.
Yeah.
So Rachel Weisz.
And Emma Stone is not even recognizable. She seems to be so deep in character. Like, I didn't even recognize her as Emma Stone. I mean, of course, the outfits help, but...
Right.
Yeah, and it's basically Elizabeth Coleman playing a mad queen and Rachel Weisz seeming to be her friend / puppet master. That's what I'm getting from the trailer anyway.
Awesome.
But the weird thing is it's from the director of The Lobster, which, if you haven't seen that, it's the weirdest movie ever made.
So you were talking about The Lobster.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what The Lobster is? So this is
wish I could,
from the
Greg.
same director.
So The Lobster stars Colin Farrell, and he plays a man who has not gotten married. I think it's by your 40th or 30th or whatever birthday. You have to be married, or you have to go to this clinic.
Okay.
And in the clinic, there's a bunch of
This
single
is a
people
dystopian
there.
future.
Yeah, and you have to find a mate. And if you don't, by a certain period of time, I think it's like 90 days, you have to choose an animal and then be morphed into it. I mean,
So
it's
if
the
you
weirdest
don't
movie. And that's,
get
it's
married-
even weirder than that when you watch the movie.
You have to go to a hotel and then turn into an animal.
Yes, and he chooses to be a lobster.
Why would you pick a lobster if you're going to pick an
that's
animal?
the question, isn't it, Greg?
That's the real. It really is.
Why not a cougar?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or, you know, an otter. They always seem to be having a good time.
Right? Yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah. So,
All right.
Anyway, the movie. The
We could
director-
debate that for hours.
We could, really. But Yorgos Lanthimos is the maker of the favorite. It looks really interesting. If you like weird movies, it's probably going to be for you. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. So The Lobster is the Between the Cracks one that you can check out. And then The Favorite coming out soon. All right, back to our original question here. And I've been trying to follow along with everybody's comments. We have a lot of great people commenting on this. But Netflix versus HBO. Which one do you prefer? I mean, after talking about this, now I realize most of the shows we talked about are coming out on Netflix.
Yeah, it's just
It's hard.
It's
That's hard to
wins
compete.
It's a war of attrition at this point.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. You can like both of them, but as you know, the new AT&T overlord has told HBO,
Right.
You must win by attrition. You must win by creating more content. And
Yeah.
and that's I read a really good op-ed about it, basically saying, why does entertainment have to be a zero-sum game? I
Yeah.
mean, of course, we've talked about the fragmentation of streaming, and you can't subscribe to everything. But there are some streaming services or networks that are better at their thing than others, and that's okay. You can have different colors
Right.
in the rainbow. I don't see why HBO has to be Netflix, but
Right.
I'm not a corporate exec over at AT&T.
You're not.
For many reasons.
But I mean, clearly they look to Between the Streams for opinions.
That's true.
So,
they
you
mostly
know.
follow us for
Yeah.
their
They
their
look
leadership.
here, they see what we say
They
is
plot
going to
it
be
out.
trending.
That's true.
And obviously we affect it. And that's why we thank everybody who tunes into this show, for helping us to affect all of these companies and their operations.
Absolutely.
And as a reward, too, we want to say this. We do have a giveaway going on right now at digitaltrends.com. If you go to digitaltrends.com/giveaway, and this is leading up to Prime Day, we are giving away a Dell Inspiron, right?
I think so.
Yeah, 5000 2-in-1 laptop. We're giving away a 2-in-1 laptop
You can
from
touch
Dell.
the screen and stuff.
You can touch the screen. You can use it as a tablet. Use it as a laptop. It's a really sweet machine, and
Yeah.
we're giving that away right now at digitaltrends.com/giveaway. So go there. I think you only have like 24 hours left to enter for this thing. The time's starting to run out on it. So go there right now, digitaltrends.com/giveaways, and sign up for it. And then also stay tuned to everything we have on our site, but this is all leading up to Prime Day. Amazon Prime Day is next week, and that's basically the holiday that Amazon created, where they have amazing deals on all kinds of things, and we're going to be doing a live broadcast on Tuesday, July 17th, walking you through everything that's going on with Prime Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got all kinds of different products, different things that are going to be happening. It starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, July 17th, so tune in with us. Ryan and I will both be on there.
Yeah, we'll
Yep.
be talking about gear and stuff.
Yep.
And things.
Gear and stuff and things.
And I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, so I hope
Sweet.
it's something I know something about.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out.
right.
But either way, thank you everybody for tuning in to Between the Streams. And again, this is a live show that we do, but also a podcast. That's the most important part. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get yours. Just look up Between the Streams and hit subscribe. And then,
Cast that
leave
pod.
us a review. That'd be great. That'd be sweet. Because we're here every week to try to get you ready for whatever's coming up with movies and television and keep you informed. Send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Let us know if you have any recommendations. We're always down for more, or even if you disagree with something Ryan said, write in about
Most
that.
likely.
Yeah. Just say Ryan is wrong in the title, and then we'll make sure it gets to him.
It's not happened yet, but it could happen.
Write in right now, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Ryan is wrong. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Wasn't wrong about mission.